Greetings, and welcome to the 19th episode of Morrowind Modding Manors, where we take a look at just a variety of house mods from around the lands of Ardenfell. For today's episode, we're taking a look at just a batch of house mods from the 2019 Modathon, because, yes, we're still covering last year's Modathon, and we probably will be until the day I die, which might be sooner rather than later, what with the pandemic and everything. But anyway, today's batch of mods are just all fairly similar to one another, most of them adding just a modest new home to the city of Balmora. And as always, you'll find a link for each one down below here. So let's just begin with our first house mod, Warwick House by Tel Shadow and Danae. Now, this mod adds a new player home to the north side of Balmora, in the Labour Town district, with a fairly typical, just one-story Hlaalu abode overlooking the Odai River, including rooftop access with a fair bit of just scenic detailing, including an outdoor dining area, a lovely little garden, and a covered study area with some just great views of the city here. Now, it's worth pointing out that this home is in a rather just conflict-heavy, location here. I mean, there are literally over 100 mods that use this exact same spot. And no, that is not an exaggeration. If anything, that is a conservative estimate. This is easily the most mod conflict-heavy spot in the entire game, which means that compatibility is going to be a bit of a concern here. But, just moving on, you can purchase this home from the owner for about 10,000 gold, and I believe the owner here does eventually leave after you purchase the home, just in case you were wondering about that. Going on inside though, this is a really tiny home, basically just a one-room flat with just a few amenities to, keep you comfortable here, including, obviously, a bed, a dining area, a bit of a storage with a set of drawers, a chest, and various urns and the like. There's also a lovely set of mushroom planters, and overall, this is just a beautifully detailed and atmospheric interior. One other thing that's worth noting here, this home does come with a bit of an alchemical lab, or, well, more of an alchemical shelf, really, including a set of Grandmaster's equipment. Now, this might give some of you pause, because Grandmaster's equipment is fairly powerful, and while yes, this home does cost 10,000 gold, you'd easily make up that loss with the equipment here. So it's perhaps a bit on the excessive side. But anyway, overall, this is just a lovely player home with a quick commute to the center of Balmora, some great views of the city, and some nice outdoor accommodations, and an atmospheric interior that just, has the base necessities. Though again, this player home will set you back about 10,000 gold, and it does come with some overly powerful equipment. But if you're, just fine with all that, this is definitely a cool mod to check out here. And moving on, our second house mod is Verelyn Hall, another Balmora House Mod by Leyawynn. This is another, just rather tiny home added to the landscape of Balmora, again in a rather just popular location for mod conflicts, but that's pretty much a given when it comes to Balmora House mods. But anyway, this mod adds a modest abode next to the Market Plaza, a bit behind the pawnbroker's shop, and right next to the Manor District in a rather just centralized location here. This home isn't free though. You'll have to purchase it for about 5,000 gold from the Hlaalu Council Manor. But once you have the key in hand here, this modest abode is yours for the taking. And it's another, just really tiny home, basically just consisting of the one room here, including a bed, a desk to study at, a fair bit of storage, and a lectern to read at. It's a well-furnished home, with a simple, cozy, and atmospheric charm, making it an ideal place to stay at for new characters. And unlike Warwick House, there's not much in the way of loot here, so you don't need to worry about overly powerful items in your new abode. It's definitely a nice looking place, and overall, it has the basic amenities you might be looking for in a starter home here, with a good location in the middle of Balmora, easy access to the nearby shops, plenty of storage, and of course a bed for you to use here. And at 5,000 gold, it's perhaps a little pricey for the starting adventurer, but most players should be able to, afford it by level 5 or so. But anyway, if you're looking for a very modest starter home, this is a nice one to check out here. And finally, for our last house mod, we're taking a look at Thief's Home by TheGraeyFox. This is the only mod in today's lineup that doesn't add a home to Balmora, instead adding a new cottage to the outskirts of Pleasiad, with a simple farmhouse that blends in fairly well with the surrounding pastoral landscape here. And while this is technically a free home, you'll have to break in to claim it as your own, since it is, after all, a thief's home. And inside, you'll find another, just fairly simple one-room abode to call your own, with a modestly finished interior here, including a cozy fireplace, a tiny dining table for one, a desk to study at, including a note left by the former owner, a single bed to sleep in, and a very modest amount of storage, mostly consisting of some crates and, chests in a tiny loft area, just above the bedroom here. There's really not a whole lot here, and this is clearly intended as a starting player home for new thief-like characters. Regardless, it's just a really cozy and scenic little abode, and while it doesn't have much, it does provide a place to stay at for those looking for a simple home in the Ascane Isles here. So if you're looking for a nice starter home that doesn't really have any overly powerful loot, you might want to just, check this one out. But anyway, that's it for today's episode. With any luck, we should be back in about a week or two with another episode of Morrowind Modding Manors here. So until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.